Hello, this is the astrology and energetic forecast for August 27th through September 2nd. And this week, I'm so excited. We have a super full moon in the sign of Pisces. And to give you a little in on me and my natal chart, I actually have a Pisces moon myself. So this entire recording today, I have just really set the intention that beyond my speaking words and what I say, I really am passing you the transmission, the energy of this like gorgeous Pisces cosmic womb, this sign where we meet this primordial, dark, but not dark like scary, just a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more unknown energy that is actually through and through woven in every single moment of our day. For me, Pisces is the sign that really gets us in with before anything was created. And there was just spirit in this fertile darkness, this fertile void, this everything and nothing energy. At times I find it's almost hard to articulate Pisces because it can feel so everything and nothing. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so there is an energy of completion and closure that comes with Pisces, but it's also where we find, for me, like, it's where everything began. So it's a bit paradoxical in a lot of ways, okay? This full moon specifically is a super full moon, and even more specifically, it's a blue super full moon. And you've probably heard the expression, once in a blue moon. Like, it is something, it's a time that's pretty rare. It doesn't occur very often. And what it means is actually that there are two full moons in 1 month. So we already had a full moon earlier in August, and now we're getting a second one. And that does not happen very often. So these are things that I always kind of pay attention to. My antenna goes up. Because when we have two full moons in a month, it's like we're really getting opportunity to bring something really into the light. And the moon, for me, it's our feelings, it's our body, it's what gets us into some of our emotion, more of what's like moving through the fluid of us, especially because we're in Pisces, and that is water in element. The sun's going to be in Virgo, which is earth in element, and it is going to shine its light in opposition on that moon. So this is the time of the month where we see things that have been like maybe seeded at the new moon start to rise up and come into the light of the Virgo sun with that Pisces moon energy underneath. And for me, what really called to me about this moon was actually, it was that blue color, that we're calling it this blue super moon. And it doesn't necessarily mean the moon is going to be blue, but when I heard that it is a blue super moon, I really felt impacted really by that frequency of the blue energy. I really intentionally wrapped myself in my royal blue shawl. Blue is a color that for me instantly makes me think and feel my throat chakra. Whew. Maybe while we're here together, put your hands on this beautiful, beautiful space of your body here. Your throat is where you express. It's where you communicate what's important to you, what's of value to you, your truth. And I'm really aware under the light of this full moon, Mercury is still going to be in retrograde. And because Mercury is in Virgo right now with its retrograde process, we have opportunity to really look at some of the inner workings of the ways we feel like we are maybe navigating through some inferiority complex. Maybe the internal inner critic is a bit louder over the last week or two. Maybe you've noticed yourself feeling like there's some insecurity that's started to rise around, like, when you're expressing, are people understanding me? Feeling maybe like I'm being misunderstood or I'm having a hard time articulating myself. These are all things that we can see start to rise, especially when Mercury is retrograde in Virgo. And then sandwiched around the same time with this full moon, it's like we're going to get opportunities to feel moments where we're going to literally have the opportunity to actually speak our truth, what matters to me. And the way that I was feeling it this morning was even beyond physically like putting voice to what matters to me and making sure that I'm sounding and I'm creating like voice frequency like with my throat. It felt even beyond that to me in like all avenues of expression. So this could be through creative projects. This could be in different relationships and things that you are like finding within your relationships and how you're able to feel like, am I able to really feel myself and then emote and express like authentically, like from who I actually am. As a Pisces moon, I can say, and if you have Pisces strong in your chart, I'm sure you will relate to this. We have a real superpower of being able to feel the room, feel what other people are feeling. There's a lot of empathy involved. But what can start to happen with Pisces is it can get really clouded by lots of thoughts, feelings, ideas, and then it sometimes can be confusing of like, what's mine? What's yours? Or even beyond that, like what is mine to express and release in this moment? And what are just like downloads that are coming in all the time that I can see, I can bow to, I can acknowledge, but also know like it's not my time to let this come through yet. Like there's patience involved, or it's not in alignment in this moment. These are some of the themes that I feel like we'll really be working with. Okay, so then I'm feeling into this and I was just like staring, as I do this sometimes when I'm just like with the chart, like I'll just stare. I just like let the symbols kind of like interplay and dance like before my eyes and translate kind of like what the message is like to me. And as I was just sitting like looking at the Pisces moon in the astrology chart for this full moon, I really felt the presence of Saturn also come forward. Because this full moon, the moon will be at 7 degrees of Pisces and Saturn will be at 3 degrees of Pisces, but that is really close together. So there is a Saturnian energy that's involved in the energy of this super full moon and what it's actually getting at inside of us. And Lady Saturn, I mean, my goodness, she is big and she is potent and she knows what she's doing. But she's retrograde right now. And Saturn is where we see structures created, formed. Saturn is where we literally feel the boundaries, the borders of our skin, where we are limited. And not in a shameful way, which is literally like, what is mine? What's my limitation? Where somebody else can pick up the rest and take it beyond me. Like Saturn really gets us in like these cycles of actual structure, supportive structure that will honestly serve us on our evolutionary journey, not structure that like holds us back. It's like, to me, it's a beautiful masculine energy in a lot of ways that feels its stability. It feels the ground under its feet. but it's not rigid. It still is able to let the divine feminine flow through it. And I know I say this all the time, but when I'm speaking to the divine masculine and the divine feminine and those energies, I'm literally speaking to energy. I'm not speaking to gender. So this is, it's just as valid for a man to be in flow with his own feminine nature as it is for a woman like me to feel like I can flow with or feel my structure of my masculine so that my feminine can flow. It's just about balance, right? So in this, with Saturn being retrograde, I could really feel like, as wonky as the week may feel because of the retrograde piece, what's actually happening is we're setting a new structure in the sign of Pisces, in the sign of the cosmic womb. And what happens when we really lean in to what is restructuring underneath? Yes, it may feel scary, but as a whole, as a collective on planet Earth right now, we are in a massive transition, a massive restructuring where the feminine is actually getting to rise and come into balance with the masculine. And so I have really felt like under the light of this full moon, we have opportunity to each receive specific downloads, specific energies and things that are tangible. I mean, sun's in Virgo, it's earth. It's not like this is all ether we're talking about here. And then what's the point if we're not bringing the spirit into matter, letting it descend into our bodies? This is some juicy, really good stuff. But the feeling of things restructuring, it is change, and change can feel scary. And Saturn will be in this cycle, moving through this retrograde until November and in Pisces until spring of 2025. So I was really feeling there's some really beautiful trickly energy of clarity, discernment of, for you personally, what is Saturn restructuring and how can you welcome in some of this cosmic womb, some of this Pisces energy into your body. I will link underneath in kind of the caption of this video a link to a guided meditation that I did about a year ago, I think, that connects you in with the cosmic womb. So if you're wanting this to feel more in your body and you want to have a physical experience, I would really welcome and encourage you to practice that meditation sometime this week, but especially at its most potency would be right around that full moon, which is on the 30th of August at 6:35 p.m. PST. So anytime around there. Wow. What a time to be on planet Earth, huh? I was talking with a couple friends this week and we were giggling because we have all been saying, it feels so intense, but then there are these moments of reprieve where I feel like we really can just soften into a radical trust that as things are shifting and we're participating with it, we will have every single thing that we need on the journey if we can just put one foot in front of the other in trust, in faith, that what's repatterning, that the cosmic womb is holding us, nurturing us, feeding us. I pulled a couple cards for this energy in honor of the full moon, and I have to say, like, I had some serious giggle medicine when they came out, because wow, it felt like it really anchored me into what I will lean into and say yes to under the light of this full moon. And I want to offer them up to you as well, in case it resonates. So, the two cards that came through. The first one was the card Judgment. Whew, I love this card passionately. I'm going to show you this image first. This is from the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. I love the image of this feminine being offering up literally like herself, her soul. And you see, it's like that gorgeous image of the soul, the spirit, just like in service, in service. This card of Judgment, sometimes people will hear the word judgment and they will think, oh, I'm being judged. Like there's like a shame response that will happen. Not that kind of judgment. It's actually a card that is speaking to this energy of Judgment Day. And I'm going to show you another image. This is from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. This is one of the more original images of the card Judgment. And for me, the clarity of these images just brings the truth with capital T of like, what is this card and this word actually getting at for us? You'll see there's an angel blowing its trumpet because it's Judgment Day. It's like he's blowing the horn, making the announcement, making the declaration. And you will see these beings begin to rise out of coffins. It looks like they're floating, maybe on the ocean, Pisces. And they are rising from the dead. If you'll notice, the angel's actually blowing the message, the declaration down onto the divine feminine figure in the image. She is receiving the message from the angel. The masculine is not receiving the message. The child is not receiving the message. It's actually the woman. It's the divine feminine receives the message, and then with her arms extended out to her beloved, to her child, to her community, she extends the message out. The energy here is that it's the divine feminine that leads. Not leads with like a lording over when we have enough of that sort of energy on earth. We don't need any more of that. It is a leadership from this knowing who I am, what I'm here to bring in softness, in grace, in love. Not this like charging ahead, warring over, like my energy just washes everybody out. It's not that. It's not competition. It's not trying to be better. It's literally this like, and none of that is bad. Let me just say, none of that is bad. We're just talking about where we're starting from. We're starting from softness. We're starting from grace. From this energy of love, compassion. And can you feel here, it's not rushy, it's really gentle, and it actually slows us all down. Sometimes we can be so frantic and move, and go. And Pisces will be like that sometimes. It's like so much, so fast. But with the light of Virgo, we can really soften with this full moon. And just slow it down and tune in to what message the angel is blowing, is declaring down onto us. Receiving your piece of that message, letting it swirl around you, letting the divine feminine inside you move it through your cells, and then harnessing the beautiful structure, the beautiful masculine energy that helps to actually take a step, putting a step in front, one foot in front of the other. Beautiful. The second card that came through is the glorious Eight of Wands. And I love this card because it speaks to a really quick and very positive shift that just happens. It creates a spark of creativity, and it sets a cycle in motion that's actually not going to take as long as you think. So, I encourage all of us this week to really create some space for yourself to get curious around what message, what music is coming down from the heavens, from the angel, softening enough to really receive it and to feel it through your body before you even try to express it. I see this a lot in our culture, especially with social media. It's like we'll get a download, we'll get an idea, and then we'll just try to do something with it like as fast as possible. And I'm curious about letting it gestate a little bit in this cosmic womb energy. Letting it almost be like a secret just for you, especially because Mercury's retrograde right now. And this is like a time to really go inside and get curious and receive and remember. I am very excited for all of us, and as we close here, let's put a hand on a heart and a hand on your womb if you are a feminine body, and your hara if you're masculine body. Wow. Just let yourself feel you for a second. Just noticing anything from the last 23 minutes of this video that's kind of stuck out to you, that feels like it's your piece to take. Why don't you just breathe that through your nose and let it settle there in your lower body. I'm going to do it with you. The cosmic womb is holding us. And as things are repatterning and restructuring at this time, allow yourself to feel you are not alone. You have everything you need right here. And there is an umbilical cord connected to that cosmic womb, holding us, carrying us through at this time. And you are so, so loved right here, just as you are. Full moon blessings, dear ones. It's an honor to be here with you. Many blessings, and I'll see you next week.